My husband cheated on me when I couldn't get pregnant, and he got baby trapped. It started, like so many seemingly perfect marriages, with whispered dreams of a family. Mark and I had been together for 7 years, married for 4. The fairy tale wedding, the cozy little house, the shared aspirations, all pointed towards a future filled with the patter of tiny feet. Except those tiny feet never came. After 2 years of trying, the joyous anticipation morphed into a chilling dread. Doctor's appointments, fertility tests, the endless cycle of hope and despair, it was consuming us. I felt like a failure, my body betraying me, denying me the one thing I craved more than anything in the world. Mark, outwardly supportive, was subtly withdrawing. He'd started working late more often, his mood shifting from affectionate to distant. The intimacy that once defined our relationship dwindled, replaced by a tense, uncomfortable silence. Then came the confession, delivered not with tears or remorse, but with a chilling detachment. He'd slept with someone else, a woman he met at a work conference. A casual encounter, he called it. A momentary lapse in judgment. Except it wasn't momentary. She was pregnant. My world fractured. The betrayal was a gut punch, compounded by the crushing weight of my infertility. It felt like a double dose of heartbreak, a cruel twist of fate that stole both my dreams of motherhood and the trust I'd placed in my husband. He was apologetic, of course, but the apology felt hollow, thin, inadequate. The fact that he'd found solace, a temporary escape from our struggles, in another woman's arms was unforgivable. The pregnancy progressed, and so did the drama. This woman, Chloe, was a whirlwind of emotions, demanding and unpredictable. She'd initially tried to pressure Mark into marriage, painting a picture of a blissful family life together, complete with a beautiful little girl. When Mark hesitated, she threatened to sue him for child support. He was trapped. The next few months were a blur of legal battles, strained conversations, and agonizing decisions. I oscillated between fury, despair, and a strange, almost pathetic need for closure. The legal arguments about paternity and financial responsibility were emotionally draining. Mark, caught in a web of his own making, pleaded for my forgiveness, emphasizing his love for me, his regret over the affair. His words felt hollow, though. He'd sought comfort in another's arms, and he'd used the excuse of my struggles as justification for his betrayal. He was trapped, yes, but he'd created his own cage. Chloe, meanwhile, played the victim card expertly, portraying herself as a lonely, betrayed woman, abandoned by a callous man. She posted tearful Instagram stories, shared snippets of ultrasound photos, and painted a picture of a man who'd cast her aside, leaving her to bear the burden of parenthood alone. The public sympathy seemed to fuel her narrative, turning the public opinion against Mark. The constant media frenzy felt like a suffocating blanket, a relentless reminder of my husband's infidelity and my own struggles with infertility. The legal battles were expensive, and the emotional toll was even greater. Friends and family took sides, further exacerbating the pain. Sleepless nights were filled with self-doubt and the agonizing question, was I truly infertile, or did Mark's actions somehow contribute to my inability to conceive? The thought haunted me. The climax came during a routine doctor's appointment. I discovered I was pregnant. The shock was absolute. 7 years of heartache, of agonizing attempts to conceive, and I was pregnant. The news sent me into an emotional tailspin, a mixture of joy, shock, relief, and bitter resentment toward Mark. I decided then and there that I needed to leave him. This pregnancy wasn't about him or Chloe, it was about me, about a future I could build on my own terms. The pain of infertility was raw and heavy, yet I needed to separate it from his actions. His betrayal, fueled by my struggles with infertility, was unforgivable. I delivered my baby girl, a small but potent symbol of my resilience and self-love. Mark, in the meantime, was consumed by the birth of Chloe's child. He was forced to take responsibility and provide financial support, even though the situation was a mess. The divorce was messy, emotionally exhausting, but ultimately liberating. I focused on my daughter, on rebuilding my life. I found solace in support groups for infertile women, realizing that my experience, though devastating, was not unique. The judgment and the constant comparison to Chloe's pregnancy were suffocating. Years later, my daughter is a thriving, joyful child. I am now in a healthy, loving relationship with a partner who embraces my past and the unique path that led me to him. I still carry the scars of Mark's betrayal and my struggles with infertility. But those scars are a reminder of my strength, my resilience, and my capacity to emerge from the darkest depths stronger than before. I look back at that time with a blend of sadness and gratitude. The sadness for the path not taken, the lost years, and the broken trust. The gratitude for the lesson learned, the strength found, and the beautiful life I've built on my own terms. I learned to forgive, not him, but myself. My daughter is the ultimate testament to my healing journey. She represents a new beginning, a life filled with unconditional love.